Hey Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve cast. I'm Alberto, and I'm bringing you another tactical breakdown. And this one is ahead of the matchup against Sassuolo. Okay, we're going to take a look at Sassuolo, how they play. We're going to take a look at their strengths, take a look at their weaknesses, look at what Juventus can do to exploit this team. All right, let's get to the slides. All right, the very first one, Sassuolo. I circled the two corners of the area, and the reason is this is their high traffic zone. This is where they try to get to, and from there, make the decisions as to how they're going to try and hurt you. And it makes sense because their best players are their wingers. They have very, very tricky and pacey wingers, and they try to put you under using those areas of the pitch. Now, if you take a look here, this particular slide, seemingly nothing there, but again, Boga close by to the particular player there. Simple ball through, and Boga's off to the races. And from there, here you see he's got options. Boga, extremely pacey, tricky. He can either continue his run, move forward. The defender's kind of in no man's land because he knows that there's going to be a trailing run. If the forward to the right of Boga, where this arrow goes to right here, if he chooses to make a run deeper, this entire area at the top of the area opens up, and this midfielder, number 8 there, can just move ahead and unleash one on goal. So this is where they try to do their damage. Okay, you see another clip here. Again, where are they trying to work to? Top of the corner. Fullbacks and wingers, that's what they try to do. They try to get deep in there. From there, as you see the ball played through, you've got a back post run, and what ends up happening, we've circled the top of the area because that ends up opening up completely. What they end up doing on this play is that ball hard across the carpet to the far post, and they actually put this one in. Again, here you go. Defense laid out in front of them, but this fullback down at the bottom of your screen, keeping this defender honest. Simple ball through to Traore. This is Traore here, and Boga's going to continue his run right into the box there. And what ends up happening is it ends up freezing defenders. From here, Traore's got enough space to take it to his left and run in on goal again, or he can wait for Boga to make his run. What does he end up doing? He waits for Boga to make his run. The defenders are kind of frozen. He ends up firing one to the far post, and it goes into the corner of the net, and he scores. So again, it's nothing. It's really simple and straightforward, but they have the players to do it effectively. There's nothing crazy or unique like to their game. It's very, very straightforward. 4-2-3-1, and they try to maximize their wing play. Here you have a defense laid out for Sassuolo, and this is where it starts to deviate because of the tricky and skillful players that they have. Here you have essentially 7 defending, okay, against Sassuolo. The wing's going to get shut down. Now, as you see here, as they work the ball over across into the top of the area, the wing is gone. Both wing plays are gone. But what has that done? That's opened up a 1v1 scenario here at the top of the area, which is probably not ideal for any team to be doing because one quick step and you've got a prime shooting area. And Berardi ends up scoring on this play. He ends up beating his man, taking it over to his left and firing low. So again, you got to be very, very careful. They have tricky and skillful players. They play fast. They're good on the counter attack. So you have to be very, very organized in what you choose to give them because they are going to get a few opportunities here and there. And the reason is because they kind of play with this no fear. They do not deviate from the 4-2-3-1. They have only alternated once, and it was still a variation of a 4-2-3-1. What they did was rather than having one guy as that trequartista, they put one guy ahead of the defense and then still had 4 forwards, 4 ahead of that player, sorry. So your midfield still essentially has 5, and then your lone striker up top. So they only deviated once. We will see a 4-2-3-1 Nothing will change. Here again, very, very straightforward. You take away the wing, they are still going to try and hurt you at the top of the area. So you got to be careful in what you give up. And this was a simple 1-2. And Jurisic ends up going in and he scores on this one. And how are we going to hurt them? This is the thing. They don't deviate from the 4-2-3-1. All right. They do not. And they try to give you the least amount of space in their end. They do not like to surrender a lot of field, but this opens them up. This is a very straightforward slide. Again, trying to hold things up, higher up the pitch, and getting caught. And this is just a simple ball. It can go right down the sideline, and you see he's off to the races because their center backs are put under a lot of duress, and they really do. Sassuolo leaks a lot of goals, and it's no surprise when you start digging deep into how they play. Here, you see a perfect slide that their center backs, again, are about to face two 1v1s, and those fullbacks are stretched out. So you see the ball here. This particular one comes from the match against Inter. Perisic has the ball below, and you can have a simple run going in behind this fullback. This center back is in no man's land. He's got a player on his shoulder. His other center back partner has another player there. If this run is made, they can't even really go to it. And if they do, they're going to surrender odd man because they just get stretched. And again, this came from trying to hold field possession higher up. And this is what they do. And this one, what ends up happening, they end up stopping. Perisic ends up stopping it, and he takes advantage of the numbers and plays a good cross in, and Dzeko gets to it, and he scores. Again, here you see another similar scenario where look at the space available, and the center backs are split, and there's just a ton of space to exploit them. So crosses come into the play. Sassuolo is not strong aerially either. And it's just something else to keep in mind. Sorry, we've gone to the backslide. Again, just something else to keep in mind. Here, you see them again trying to hold field possession higher up, and the center backs are caught. They are caught. They are constantly having to battle 1v1s. We have to take advantage of this. Here's just another slide of them getting stretched out, and you have good numbers on crosses into the area against Sassuolo. And again, you have a team that's not strong aerially, so you can hurt them on these. Now let's take a look at Juventus and the last time they played a team that plays in the same fashion, 4-2-3-1. However, this team, which was Spezia, defends slightly different because they try to help their center backs quite a bit more, and they end up dropping two players to form a bit of a wall, minimum five-man wall. But we get our first goal, and Bonucci comes from a long ball because at this particular point, we did have them stretched out wide. And it was actually Rabiot that made a run, took advantage of the fact that the CBs were kind of, kind of alone, so to speak. And he heads this one down right there to Keane, and Keane ends up scoring on this one. So again, you're going to have opportunities against Sassuolo. There's no question where you're going to have to face some battles 1v1 against their defenders, and you're going to want to try and do that and get that done. Here's another clip from the Spezia match of something that cannot happen. Can happen against Sassuolo. They leave their center backs to do their work in a lot of 1v1 scenarios. Right here, we have no presence of a 9. Okay, we have the right idea here in having our wide players move up the pitch, but again, not enough here. Your 9 needs to be on them, and you need to keep those center backs honest. And the wingers need to get up in order to split that. And again, you can see it in the clips that I showed previously. It's not hard to open up Sassuolo and get them to split open like that. Again, a lot of people expecting that they might park it a little bit. Sassuolo won't. They just simply don't play with that. I'd be surprised. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for goals here for Juventus. Okay, we shape up good. We have the right players to attack them. Our wingers will come into the play because if they're going to get stretched out like that, if we do not force Sassuolo, let's put it this way, if we do not force Sassuolo into dropping some other players back there, our 1v1s will be from our wingers who are going to be very, very strong in that fashion, especially if the projected lineup so far has Chiesa and Cuadrado both out there. They're your 1v1 winners. They want to try to shut that down. Again, they're going to open themselves up centrally, and then our nine starts to get more space, even the mids. If Dybala's going to be a goal, which he should be, he's going to have more space. So I I see a very, very straightforward match for Juventus. I really, really do. And I think we should easily get at least 2 goals in this one, if not three. We're going to get a lot of opportunities. It should be noted we struggled in the Spezia match, but we kind of didn't. Like, we did as far as the scoreline goes or whatnot, but we generated a lot of opportunities. And when Morata came in, we actually put them under, and they played the same way for the most part as Sassuolo is going to play. So again, I think this is going to be a straightforward one for Juventus. Our nine is going to have to put them under, especially if they're going to be left alone. Those center backs, we have to take advantage. We have to take some stabs at some long balls and really, really put them under if they want to press us that hard. Our mids, our mids are just going to have to stabilize everything, because this should be a game that if Sassuolo plays theirs, we should be able to break their lines quite easily. I expect Dybala to be the one that finds the most space and be the key player in this one for Juventus. The wingers again, they'll have their 1v1s, and I expect them to cook in this one. So yeah, it should be a pretty straightforward one for Juventus. Again, Sassuolo, very, very leaky. The numbers do not lie. And you could see the evidence in the photos. They are not the strongest in defense, but it's because they try to play to their strongest suit, which is the attack and the wingers, all being pacey, all being tricky. We'll see what ends up happening, but that's your tactical breakdown. These are the ways Juventus can hurt them. The key players become our creative guy who's going to be able to have a lot of space to utilize. And of course, our wingers. Our wingers are going to become very, very crucial. Aerially, again, Morata would be just fine, even Moise Kean if you wanted to. But you can make the argument for maybe a different midfielder, like maybe McKennie plays again because he's strong aerially, sorry, and Sassuolo is not. But we will see what ends up happening. So far, Bonucci, again, we were talking about those long balls. He probably won't be seeing the pitch. Rumors so far are Delict and Rugani. So again, if you take away the long balls, it's okay. We see that Sassuolo wants to put the pressure up higher up the pitch. That leaves them open to long balls that really any of your players should be able to play. The forwards just need to be on to it. It might even be a match where Juventus would be okay to risk one of the wingers in cheating a bit in order to take advantage of that ground, and we should be able to generate a lot of fast breaks. But there, that wraps it up for this tactical breakdown of Sassuolo and Juventus, which comes up, of course, tomorrow morning. We will be live for the Match Day Live, where we'll take you through the build up into this one. We'll cover a bit of the tactics, a bit some more, but we're going to have a lot of fun with the history trivia of the fixture. And of course, we get to our predictions, and we just love having fun and interacting with you, Juventini, all over the world on match days and getting that energy out. And hopefully, we have a great match to watch and then celebrate on the post match podcast, which will be Thursday morning. Tune in then. And of course, like the video, please subscribe to the channel. And if you have any content that you want us to produce for you, we're all about the Juventini community. So let us know what you want to see and we'll bring it to life. Ciao tutti. And as always, fino alla fine, Forza Juventus.